We got a few minutes of new Horizon Forbidden West gameplay, a first look at an enemy outpost, a switch from ground level to underwater gameplay with a brand new machine, forced gameplay for the first time, which a big change from the more tropical beaches. It all looks insane, and we got some brand new details too. But let's start with the human outpost. Here we see Aloy approach the Tanuct soldier, and I think this takedown is based on this enemy archetype, as Aloy grabs the horns from the mask to take her out. So maybe you'll have different takedown moves depending on the enemy you're fighting. Now we are alerted, and you can do one of these awesome takedowns when already in combat from the looks of it as well, instantly taking the enemy out. Like, where did Aloy learn these moves? So I'm curious if this is a skill that unlocks like a frontal takedown, or if it's something that you can just do if you time a move right. Now next up we see Aloy do a slide attack to already start the combo, and then that familiar jump and shot combination. We all saw this in the summer gameplay trailer, where you first build up the spear combos to then follow up with an arrow and a big boom. This is called the Resonator Blast, and what we saw in the brand new gameplay is that Aloy already has a fully charged spear when approaching the camp for the first time. So what you can likely do is build up this energy already and then head into a camp, so you can easily clear out the first few enemies. A nice preparation tactic. I love the use of the poolcaster here to launch yourself in the air, then use the shield wing to get yourself into position, and then do a strike from the air to already start the combo. And this was actually already possible in Horizon Zero Dawn, but only for the light attack, and this seems to be a heavy attack. We see a dodge counter, which kind of looks cool. And now we put down this trap. So yes, these traps are back in Forbidden West. We already saw Aloy use a smoke bomb in the gameplay trailer to stun the machines and more easily get away. And now we see footage of a returning tool, the detonating blast trap, which you put on the ground. And if we put the two animations after each other, you see that they totally improved it here in the Forbidden West. And when enemies get close, it will explode and deal damage in a large radius. And yeah, I love the grapple away and then having the explosion in the background move. Truth be told though, I never really used these traps in Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, I never felt that it was really needed. Also, putting them down makes you an easy target for faster machines. But when you succeed, they are quite useful and deal quite a lot of damage. You also have a shock variant, which will stun the machine, after which you can override them. Maybe in Forbidden West, they are like making sure that we can more easily use them. In the new gameplay, we of course saw no HUD, but also in the summer gameplay trailer, we did not see that bottom left Monster Hunter like wheel where we had to like scroll and select these tools. So maybe we can now map them to one button on the D-pad, or maybe they found another way to make using potions and these traps easier. And one thing we see in the new Force gameplay is that the tripwire is getting a massive upgrade, where you now just have to shoot once to have the wire appear immediately, instead of having to shoot 2 times like in Zero Dawn, which was especially annoying during combat. Now you just aim and bam, the trap appears. And yeah, the fire wire is back, but this time it looks way cooler. In Zero Dawn you had these tiny flames on the rope, and now we see these massive flames that also fall down from the wire. The effect when it hits the Claw Strider is still brutal, and it gives you some nice time to shoot the weak points. And maybe you already saw it, but this forest looks massive. You cannot even see the sky because it's being blocked by the giant trees and the mist. Other things that stand out are the glow when charging the arrow. This seems different from the Banuk style effect we saw in the Frozen Wilds for the special bows you could get there, but that are now on regular bows from the looks of it, as we saw in that recent gameplay trailer, with also an extra zoom at the end. Shooting the arrows when fully charged would then deal double damage. Maybe the effect is different for these glowing arrows. They seem to, for example, already trigger way faster, so maybe it's an upgrade you can choose instead of the longer but maybe more deadly Banuk style shots. Another thing I want to point out before we move on to other new gameplay are the tattoos on Aloy's arms. They look like leaves or scales. Very cool. Maybe we can customize this as well, similar to the face paint they added to Zero Dawn post-launch for if you finish the New Game Plus on a higher difficulty. So more options like that, but for other body parts. could be in the cards. And of course, if you liked the video so far, then leaving a like on it would really help me out. And you can participate in my Digital Deluxe Edition giveaway via the link in the pinned comment. And you have to be a subscriber of the channel if you want a chance to win. So good luck. For the other new gameplay, we return to the beach, where we see Aloy sneak, Utaru gear on, and then bam, shield wing in combination with the strike from above skill we could of course unlock in the original. I'm still curious if skills like that are unlocked from the start in Forbidden West. Would be kinda weird if we have to unlock them again. And now something interesting happens, because the Snapmaw attacks and then during combat Aloy jumps in the water, immediately puts her mask on so she can breathe underwater for an unlimited amount of time, and then she does this dodge roll underwater. We still see her weapons, but she's not using them, so once again, I really think that underwater is just for exploration, and to be fair, if that's the case, I'm actually really happy about that. Because underwater combat has never been really great and actually kinda weird in these third-person action games. Not being able to defend ourselves will also completely change the dynamic, where suddenly we are being hunted by these machines. Especially the sort of Loch Ness style machine we saw in the State of Play countdown should be kinda scary to encounter underwater without any of our weapons. Like, I think that's a different machine than the smaller Watcher type burrowers, right? And Guerrilla Games notes that more machines are now capable of swimming and have the ability to dive and chase Aloy underwater. Amphibious machines can also use jumps to get in and out of water, so if you are unlucky they will combine this with an attack. I'm pretty sure that a surprise attack from a machine underwater can lead to some pretty wild jump scares. And I love how also in the new blog post, which I will by the way link to in the video description, they also talk about the improved audio cues they designed for these machines. Melee attacks are communicated by a distinct sound that builds up towards the impact moment, while ranged attacks are communicated through their weapon-specific charge-up sounds or projectile sounds. So once again, playing with audio will help us during the hunt. Also cool is how they note that the human enemies will now team up and search for you as a group if they lost you out of sight, with the team leader giving orders and coordinating the work. Pretty cool. Like, the human enemies in Zero Dawn just felt very poorly organized. We should not have that expectation in Forbidden West. They also mentioned different archetypes, which we already briefly saw, like the champion class, which should be more confident and experienced, not losing Aloy out of sight, and continuously closing in, so you kind of feel intimidated. And then you also have these smaller rebel soldiers who behave a lot like hyenas and might be more aggressive in groups, but hesitant in small numbers. Subscribe for way more Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. We're getting closer to launch. I will keep you up to date on all the news, share all the new footage. I actually expect a new trailer during Game Awards on December 9th, so I will have a breakdown for you if that indeed happens. You can also watch all the new gameplay they released without like any commentary, just like after each other. I put a link to that in the pinned comment. And yeah, leave a like. Check out my previous video on some other new info we learned by clicking on the screen. And for now, I will speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.